Coming up on the Poke Report, why football continues to skid and what they can do to get back to winning. And
how Cowgirl soccer continues to climb back in the race for the Big 12. This is the Poke Report.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the Poke Report. I'm Peyton Schmidt.
And I'm Steve Spears. Now, Peyton, you may or may not have noticed we have a different change of scenery this week.
Yeah, Steve, that's right. We are actually inside of Neil Patterson Stadium just a couple of hours before Cowgirl soccer takes on the Houston Cougars.
Now, before we get to Cowgirl soccer, we have to talk about Cowboy football. Right now, the team's on a bit of a skid right now, losing their last 3 games in Big 12 play. Now, the team kind of lost their identity so far on offense. Ollie Gordon, who averaged 6.1 yards per carry last year, is now down to 3.8, and he's been held to under 100 yards rushing the last 5 games.
As for the past game, Alan Bowman has been replaced multiple times by quarterback Garrett Rangel. Bowman has thrown 8 interceptions with 12 total touchdowns. Rangel has not been able to produce either, completing under 50% of his throws. As for the defense, it hasn't been any better, giving up over 500 yards a game with 250 of those yards coming solely from the ground. With the Pokes having a bye this week, it's an opportunity to change the game plan to help both sides of the ball be more effective. But before we can move on, we have to take a look at last weekend's game. Our very own Braden Garris has the details on what went wrong.
Oklahoma State is sputtering 6 weeks into the college football season. Coming off 2 straight losses, the Pokes offense looks to get things going against a statistically weak West Virginia defense. West Virginia's offense started quickly. On the opening drive, they chose to receive the ball and scored a field goal. A holding penalty stalled Oklahoma State's first drive, and West Virginia capped off the first quarter with a Nico Marchio touchdown pass. The second quarter was ugly for the Pokes. West Virginia rushed for 192 yards in the quarter and scored a touchdown on back-to-back possessions. Down 24-0, Oklahoma State tried to mount a comeback. Quarterback Alan Bowman found senior receiver Rashad Owens for an 8-yard touchdown pass. Unfortunately for the Pokes, West Virginia's running game was too powerful. Running back C.J. Donaldson Jr. rushed for a 15-yard touchdown to close out the first half with a commanding 24-point lead. Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy spoke on the Cowboys' inability to come back when they get down early.
The team that we got so far behind early in the game that offensively it sets us back where we can't really stay balanced, makes it difficult for us.
Scoring slowed in the second half. Neither team scored until 9 minutes left in the fourth when C.J. Donaldson Jr. broke through for West Virginia's final touchdown. Oklahoma State's backup quarterback Garrett Rangel checked into the game in the fourth. He led the offense 75 yards down the field for their only score of the second half. West Virginia ran for 389 yards in the game, held the ball for nearly 43 minutes, and handled the Cowboys easily. 38-14 was the final. Oklahoma State's schedule doesn't get any easier. Coming out of the bye week, they hit the road to play 14-ranked BYU on Friday. For the Poke Report, I'm Braden Garris.
Thanks for that, Braden. We are looking forward to our live coverage show in Provo next weekend against BYU.
One team on campus starting to heat up is Cowgirl soccer. They've struggled early in Big 12 play, but they're starting to turn it around. We're going to go to our very own Eric McLaurin with more on the Cowgirl soccer team.
The Cowgirls continue their historic defensive season as they stomped out the Jayhawks 3-0 last Saturday. This is the 11th shutout for the Cowgirls, which is the 5th most in program history. Yay! The game started quickly with a score from Logan Heisler in the first 15 minutes of the game. 3 minutes later, wingback Alex Morse crossed up her defenders and found forward Gracie Benbotel for the quick score. After Benbotel was fouled in the box, Loudon Wilson would be the one to sink the game's final goal 30 minutes into the game. Kansas head coach Nate Lee says he was shocked and surprised to see the effort put out by the Jayhawks in the first half.
We were up against the wind, which definitely had a little bit of a factor, but I think that caused us to lose all the principles and sort of our identity, played on the back foot. And when you play on your back foot for any kind of extended period of time, you're probably going to get punished.
The Cowgirls only allowed 5 shots the entire game, with 2 of those shots being saved by Grace Gordon. Gordon and the Cowgirls are currently 4th in the nation in save percentage. Gordon has saved over 90% of opponents' shots on goal. The Cowgirls evened up their Big 12 play at 2-2-2 and improved to 9-2-3 on the season. For the Poke Report, I'm Eric McLaurin.
Thanks for that, Eric. Be sure to check out the Cowgirls here Sunday. They take on the Cincinnati Bearcats here at Neil Patterson Stadium.
That's all the time we have for y'all right now, but don't go anywhere because after the break, we're going to take a look at the new look Cowboy basketball team.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars, like fresh-packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza.
Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges, inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie.
Welcome back to the Poke Report. And speaking of welcoming, Peyton, I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about this new era of Cowboy basketball.
I am Steve, and speaking of this new era, the Cowboys welcome new head coach Steve Lutz in hopes of getting the Cowboys back to where they once were, which is the NCAA tournament. With all of these new faces, our very own Brock Mills has more details on these new additions.
Oklahoma State men's basketball enters the 2024-2025 season with many questions facing the team. The biggest question being, how will the team perform under new head coach Steve Lutz? Lutz, coming off 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances, takes over an OSU program that has struggled over the past few years. Last season, under former head coach Mike Boynton, the team had a Big 12 record of 4-14 and an overall record of 12-20 as they missed the NCAA tournament for a 3rd consecutive season.
I think they're willing learners. They're willing to adapt. They're willing to try and do what is asked of them, which is, sometimes not always the case when you bring in so many new players. So that, that's obviously refreshing.
Coach Lutz is not the only one coming to Stillwater. He is bringing along guard Brandon Newman. Lutz, who helped recruit Newman out of high school in Indiana, has followed him at almost every stop he has been to.
Well, you guys probably, have heard already, Coach and I have been together for majority of my college career, and we've had some success doing so. So I didn't really, going into the portal again, I didn't want to, have to find myself trying to, relearn a whole new system again. And it's just something about playing for someone that you know and trust already.
Where I think that Brandon's biggest and best value can be, besides on the floor, should be in that locker room. I've been with this guy. I know what he's about, and it's about winning.
Lutz and Newman will look to transition their success they had in Bowling Green to here in Stillwater. Oklahoma State basketball will begin its season November 4th right here at Gallagher-Iba Arena as they'll host the Green Bay Phoenix. For the Poke Report, I'm Brock Mills.
Thanks for that, Brock. The Steve Lutz era opens up on October 26th for an exhibition game against SMU.
Now, from one team that's getting ready to start playing to one team that's already in full swing, Cowboy Golf completed their 3-day tournament to open up Big 12 play. We're going to go to our very own Gina Foster to see how the Cowboys finish in their 3-day tournament.
This week, the Cowboy Golf team traveled to Hockley, Texas for the Big 12 Match Play Championship. After an abundance of back and forth throughout the tournament, the Cowboys concluded Day 3 in 5th place, having 2 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties. The team's momentum began in the first round of the tournament as they defeated UCF 3-1-1. In the afternoon round on Day 1, the Cowboys tied with Kansas State. Brady Catalano and Gavin Lane led the Cowboys in this matchup as they were 1 up on their opponents. Day 2 of the tournament started off rough for the Cowboys with a 3-2-0 loss to Kansas. Lane and Preston Stout were the only two who put points on the board for OSU. After a back-and-forth battle with Utah, OSU concluded the second day with a 2-2-1 tie. Lane once again defeated his opponent, along with Philippe Faubourg-Johnson.
After taking his only loss in the second round against Utah, sophomore Preston Stout defeated Tim Wiedmeyer in a 4-3 win in the third round. This led to a Cowboy victory over Texas Tech.
Stout and his teammates relied on their consistency to end the Big 12 match play tournament successfully. The Cowboys' next stop is the Jackson T. Stevens Cup, hosted at the Oklahoma City Golf and Country Club on October 21st through 23rd. For the Poke Report, I'm Gina Foster.
Thanks for that, Gina. The Cowboys will be back in action soon. On October 21st, they take part of the Jackson C. Stevens Classic. 5th out of 15, it's not bad. Hope to keep it up.
That's not bad, Steve. Would you finish 5th in the tournament?
I'll probably finish first. I think I'm good at everything, so especially Topgolf.
I don't doubt that. Now, athletics are the lifeblood here at OSU, and our traditions are so rich that it makes our campus so unique. About 50,000 individuals come and gather every weekend to come and see what OSU's traditions are all about. Our very own Dee Dee McIntosh gives us an insight on what those traditions entail.
Oklahoma State University Game Day is something special, full of rich traditions that bring the Cowboy community together. It all starts with the walk, where fans line the streets to see the Spirit Squads, band, and of course the football team as they head toward Boone Pickens Stadium. It's a moment for all the fans to come together and support the team before the game. And no OSU game day is complete without tailgating. Across campus, fans gather to grill, hang out, and get ready for the game. The atmosphere is filled with food and fun.
Inside the stadium is where the real treat is, where fans from all over get to see long-lasting traditions, old and new, that have been set before us.
Leading the charge is none other than Oklahoma State's beloved mascot, Pistol Pete. Pete was inspired by Frank Eaton, a local lawman. Pete was formally adopted as the school's mascot back in 1958. When the gun goes off, the fans know it's time for the iconic OSU chant. Bullet, the horse ridden by the Spirit Rider, is a key symbol of tradition at Oklahoma State. Introduced in 1984 by Dr. Eddie Finley, the Spirit Rider carrying the iconic orange OSU flag charges across the field at Boone Pickens Stadium during pregame performances and at every Cowboy touchdown. Inside the stadium, you'll notice the paddle people. They are hard to miss, banging the sides with their paddles, shaking the walls with every hit. It's their way of helping OSU fans stay upbeat and strong. In 1908, H.G. Seldenbridge adapted lyrics from Victor Herbert's The Red Mill for Oklahoma A&M, unintentionally creating a key part of A&M's athletic tradition, the waving song. During a campus performance, students added the wave gesture while singing, and the song cemented its place in A&M history. Right after the waving song comes the Ride 'em Cowboys fight song. The crowd sings along during the pregame show and during the game to congratulate the little victories. I Got Friends in Low Places, sung by Garth Brooks, is an unofficial tradition at OSU. During every home game and after every third quarter, everyone sways and sings along to the famous tune. But you can't forget Oklahoma State's alma mater, Proud and Immortal. It was composed by Robert McCall back in 1957. Win or lose, it is played at the beginning and end of every game, bringing fans together. For the Poke Report, I'm Dee Dee McIntosh.
Thanks for that, Dee Dee. Now, this might be a little cliche, but to the loyal and true, you are what makes Stillwater so special.
I think I need my jacket. It's a little chill in the air, so that means it's fall ball season here in Stillwater. How the defending Big 12 champs bounce back from an early elimination last season? Stick with us through the break and find out more.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars. Like fresh-packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza. Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges, inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie.
Welcome back to the Poke Report, and thanks for sticking with us. You know, Steve, we might be out here on the soccer pitch right now, but another sport is taking some key preparations right now.
Right, and for everything that's going on with the Cowboy baseball team right now, we're going to go check in with our correspondent, Noah Bryant, to see what the Cowboys have going on.
Oklahoma State baseball takes to the diamond this week as it faces off against Arkansas in a pair of exhibition contests. The Cowboys come into the season riding multiple positives. The reigning Big 12 champions enter the season after posting its third straight 40-win season and postseason as regional hosts. However, the strong play was marred with question marks after the Cowboys failed to make it out of regionals, dropping to Florida.
For OSU, the series loss marked the third consecutive season it's failed to reach the Super Regionals as host, leaving head coach Josh Holliday and the Cowboys wanting more.
The Cowboys return All-America outfielder Nolan Schubert and All-Conference honorees Colin Brueggemann and Aiden Miola, while adding 7 new transfers, including former Razorback Jason Jones in left field. OSU last made the Super Regionals in 2019, and with 8 players, including first-round pick Carson Benj, leaving for the MLB draft, it will look to establish its footing against the Razorbacks this week. For the Poke Report, I'm Noah Bryant.
Thanks for that, Noah. Hopefully the Cowboys can continue their winning ways and create more traditions. You know, Peyton, hopefully this season with the best they have, we can see a lot of home runs going to the student section.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to that. But another diamond I'm looking forward to taking a visit to is Cowgirl Diamond. The Cowgirl softball team is looking to make its 5th straight appearance to the Women's College World Series, thanks to a season-long performance from one individual. Our own Ashton Slaughter talks about how this one individual looks to make an impact on and off the field.
Carly Godwin is Oklahoma State's star sophomore first baseman, formerly the freshman single-season Cowgirl home run record holder, and one of the key pieces for a team seeking a 6th straight Women's College World Series appearance. But she's not just the heart of the team on the field. Her spunkiness and outward personality are what she's really known for around the clubhouse.
I'm just a very outgoing person in general and one that always goofs around and has fun. And I think when you're in a place that you love everybody you play with and you're surrounded by, it's hard not to be that girl.
One of those people who Godwin is closest to is Rosie Davis, a fellow sophomore who plays next to Godwin in the infield. Both star sophomores were on the 2024 All-Big 12 Freshman and Softball America's Freshman All-American teams. But even when they aren't on the field, they don't spend much time away from each other. They're roommates.
So nice to have somebody right there who you trust a lot, who can hold you to your standards that you want to be held to. I mean, me and Carly both have really high standards. We want to do the best at everything we do.
Here we are in the outfield of Cowgirl Stadium, where Carly Godwin usually hits a lot of these. But those closest to her say that even with all her success, keeping her level-headed is very important.
OSU head coach Kenny Gajewski calls Godwin and Davis 2 special people, and he too recognizes the importance of Davis being in Godwin's corner.
And I think it's been a real sense of comfort for Carly. Even when you're the dominant one, you still need people to check on you. I think that's one thing we lose sight of when you're coaching superstars is we just think they're void of any issues, and they're not. They have the same issues as everybody else. I think Rose has been a very good outlet for her.
And despite a great freshman season from Godwin, the expectations haven't lowered for her or the Cowgirls. Godwin believes that this team is ready for battle alongside of one another.
I don't know. There was just something special about it, and it clicked. And I don't know. I just genuinely think that everybody on this team loves one another and likes being around them. So
when Godwin was being recruited to OSU, she looked up to Cowgirl sluggers like Sydney Pennington. But players the caliber of Pennington's aren't all that Godwin's wanting to be.
The things that they've done, those are kind of my goals, plus some more. Like, I can be them, and I know that. So.
As for if she believes she'll be able to top her historic freshman season?
Yeah, I sure hope so. That's my goals.
For the Poke Report, I'm Ashton Slaughter.
Thanks for that, Ashton. Now Godwin and the Cowgirls are looking to continue their fall ball season and keep their bats hot. So far, they've outscored their opponents 42-1, which is absolutely insane to me. They travel up to Tulsa this weekend for a doubleheader.
I'm so glad the Cowgirls starting off their season hot, but guess who's not? Me and my picks.
That's
so let's get into this pick segment so I can try to redeem myself. First game we're going with Utah and Arizona State. Who you got?
You know, if Cam Rising starts, I'm going to say Utah. But even with Wilson, I think their team is all around very good and strong, so give me the Utah Utes.
I don't want to agree with you, but I'm going to have to go with Utah as well. Ole Miss and LSU. Who you got?
I know you like Ole Miss, so I'm actually going to go against you, and I'm going to say LSU.
This is where Steve makes his comeback. Don't count out Joey Freshwater and Ole Miss. Arizona at BYU.
Who are you picking, Steve?
I will be going with our the team we're going to visit, the Cougars of BYU. Their offense is crazy.
See, you kind of read my mind a little bit there. Sorry, this win. But give me the BYU Cougars. They have been dominant all season.
Another big game, Kansas State and Colorado. Who you got with that one?
I'm going to go Kansas State. Even though I know you like Colorado, but I just think what the Wildcats did against us, they're just going to do it to Colorado.
I think Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are going to torch that Kansas State defense. Give me the Buffs. Ohio State at Oregon. Who you got?
Oregon, all the way. I think Dylan Gabriel has kind of brought new life to that offense, and I just think the Ducks are going to come away with the win.
I don't like sharing picks, but I have to go with Oregon as well.
You stay sharing my picks, Steve.
Lies. Now, what I think is the biggest game is going to be the Red River rivalry with Oklahoma and Texas. Who you got?
So it's funny because earlier you said that it wasn't the game of the week and that it was Oregon. But I'm from Austin, Texas, and I am a Longhorn. So give me the Longhorns.
I don't want to agree with you, but it explains why Peyton's so weird.
Thank you.
Give me the Longhorns by 3 scores. Thank you guys for sticking with us. This has been the Poke Report. Tune in next week where me and Peyton go more in depth on these games this past weekend.
We will be in Provo, so be sure to stay tuned for that one.
Go Pokes!